Oh, there we are. Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. I like the background.
Oh, thank you.
I just I talked to Steve before the last event and I was talking to him about all his Captain America stuff. So I think you look good sitting in front of it too.
Thanks. I don't know anything about Captain America, but it's all Steve stuff, so I had to embrace it.
Uh there ask ask around. I don't know, ask him, ask Twitter where you should start. If you're into learning about it, I would say there's I'm sure some compilations or some good graphic novels that are out there.
Yeah. Yeah, our first like date was me watching Winter Soldier, and he was like, "This is where you need to start." And then it kind of just went downhill from there. I was like, "I'm not into this." I don't know.
Ooh. That's no, like he was right. That's where you need to start. But I mean, that's like one of the best Marvel movies out there. I agree with him.
I I enjoy them for what they are, but I think because I don't know the like backstory and stuff, like I just am like, who's that person? And you know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to get into it if you're not already into it. I feel like.
Yeah. The way that I always explain why I love that one so much is if you take away the superhero elements, it's like an espionage thriller.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
why I relate to it so much. Sort of like how Batman could be a police drama in the same way. I
Yeah.
really feel like it's kind of like a spy movie without
Okay, I
I
can see that. Yeah.
give it another chance.
You know what? We go to the movies all the time to see like whatever comes out, and I really do like them. You know what I mean? Like they're not bad movies. They're good, but yeah, when you don't know the world, it's hard.
Yeah.
But I popcorn, so I go.
All right, fair enough. So new Impact Wrestling Knockouts champion. How'd you celebrate this win? This is your third. So did you do anything special to commemorate it?
Um, no,
Popcorn?
you and Steve are both winning. This is so special. You guys have to do something fun. But Jordynne Grace is a beast. I've said it time and time again. She's my toughest opponent. So I was beat up and very sore after the match. And I think Steve and Impact held like a little after party for all of us just to get together and have some food and drinks if you like drinks. And I had a couple drinks and we Ubered back to the hotel and I ate a Big Mac. And that was my celebration.
Hey, I like it. Can't go wrong with a burger. Uh, Mickey was injured. I think in the it wasn't even in the build up to the match. It was like, before you got the title shot, you said, uh, paraphrasing here, but a lot of people should want to knock her off, should want to end that reign, especially coming off of the last rodeo, all the attention she had. And I don't want to say bittersweet or any sort of negative connotation, but do you have any thoughts now that you've had time to reflect, maybe just about her not being the one you beat, especially because you have so much history with her?
Yeah, I think it's bittersweet. I think we can say that. Because I think going into this match, it was like the three-way dynamic was really interesting because again, I've never beaten Mickey James, but Jordynne Grace had never beaten me. So it was kind of like if Jordynne comes out victorious or I come out victorious, this is like kind of history making and game changing in that type of way. And then on top of, yeah, Mickey James won the Knockouts World Championship with this huge stipulation that if she lost, she retired. So you have to think like what her mindset would be when she loses again. And does that mean we're getting closer to the end? And are you the person that knocks Mickey James off and sends her into retirement? Still, who knows? So I think that with that possibility, there was a lot of interesting ways that the knockouts division changes from that point on. So it was bittersweet because I want to defeat and then hopefully retire Mickey James, and get that thorn out of my side finally. But I think either way, when you're contending for the Knockouts World Championship, it's going to be special. Jordynne Grace and I were the main event of Rebellion. It had been 3 years since Jordynne and I had a singles match in one-on-one against each other. So there was that element to the last time we did this. It was really special. It was history making. And there's a bit of expectation and pressure there. So I think any way we could have flipped it, it was going to be good. And then, of course, when you win the world championship, the Knockouts World Championship in the main event, it's like, what more does a wrestler want? That's the pinnacle, right? So I'm happy with the outcome either way.
And when Mickie heals up, there's always that opportunity to maybe retire her. So
I have been the champion before, so I know what it feels like to lose your championship. I can't imagine what it feels like to lose it when you didn't actually lose it. So I know that the target on my back is huge, particularly for Mickie James, and I know she's not going to let it go. She's going to come back guns blazing. She wants her championship back, and I'm going to be ready for it, and I'm going to finally defeat Mickie James.
There you go. Confidence. I'm gonna throw a couple stats at you now. 343. That was your second reign. It was the second longest single reign. Taya Valkyrie still has the record at 377. Do you look at that that number now, especially after Josh Alexander got so much attention for breaking the men's world title record? Is that something you're striving to maybe break yourself?
I definitely think that it's in the back of my mind of like, okay, if I could hold this, I did it before, I can definitely do it again. But I think more so for me, the number that sticks in my mind is, I believe it's 711. And that is the number of days combined that Gail Kim held the Knockouts World Championship. Over 7 reigns, she's number 1 in combined days as a champion. So that, I think, is the next number for me, where it's like, if I'm at 400+ now, can I beat 7? I think it's 711.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 711 over 7 reigns. You just actually passed Mickie, I think a couple days ago, maybe over the weekend, but you're second now, 3 reigns, 449 and counting. So that was going to be my next question. Are you looking at that? Obviously you are, but we just talked, quite a bit about Mickie not losing her, losing without actually losing it. Thoughts on kind of passing her, kind of getting another step up on her, even though it's not a win in the ring, you're still, passing her on an all-time list.
Yeah, I will take pride in any little bit thing bigger that I could do compared to Mickie James. No, I think she's 5-time Knockouts World Champion. That's an incredible feat, and I think our division is better for having Mickie James in it. Although she's like I said, biggest thorn in my side, my biggest rival, the person I cannot beat. I beat pretty much everyone in this division at some point over the last 3 years, but Mickie James. So just to have that little bit of edge over her, I think I can play a little bit of mind games with that. The Virtuoso can come up with some way to make that a part of my strategy, then that's what I'm going to do. That's what I do best.
You're being respectful, but you're being petty, and I like it.
From Jersey, we got to bring up
the right. April 29th, 28th and 29th is Spring Slugfest. Impact goes back to Chicago. One of the things I like is they've already started announcing some of the matches. Your greatest self-proclaimed greatest rival is going to be your teammate Jordynne Grace, and Deonna Purrazzo are going to challenge the Coven. Thoughts on that, based on how you described Jordynne? She's a rival, one of your greatest opponents. Now you're teaming with her. You also could be the champ again.
Yeah, they announced that yesterday, and that was the first thing that came to mind, like, ooh, an opportunity to be the champ again. Okay. The last time Impact was in Cicero Stadium in Chicago, Chelsea Green and I won the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships at, I think it was Emergence last year. So it would be great to be back and get to do that again. And although Jordynne is my greatest rival, my greatest opponent, there is a mutual respect. We saw that at the beginning of the match at Rebellion with a handshake. I don't typically do that. I don't show a ton of respect to my opponents, especially when the bell rings, but I know that Jordynne Grace brings out something different in me. She brings out even like a larger fight than most people do. I know what I'm in for when I get in the ring with Jordynne Grace. We know each other like the back of our hands. We wrestled so many times, not necessarily in singles competition, but in tag team competition, in and things like that. Plus, outside of the ring, she is one of my good friends. So I think there's this different level of respect that I have for most people when it comes to being in the ring with them. And I think it'll be interesting to see what our tag team dynamic is. And hopefully, like I said, I get to become the champ again if we win, and I would love that.
I think there's something to be said about having a rival that you just said is also your friend. I think maybe sometimes lose sight of that, whether it's just in professional wrestling or whether it's from a fan perspective, as far as like there's all this talk about tribalism or, oh, they have to hate each other because they're fighting or blah, blah, blah. It's like, I think, more should be said about having a healthy rivalry in the ring and then just remaining friends. I think that exists in real life, and it should be highlighted a little bit more, like kind of like you just did.
Yeah, and I think especially when you're fighting somebody, you know what I mean? Like there has to be a respect, because you're literally beating the crap out of each other for one goal, and if someone can beat you up a little bit more or is that much stronger or faster or look at the things that Jordynne has accomplished over the last, even just 1 month, right? She trained for the last 6-8 months, whatever it was, for a bodybuilding competition, and she destroyed it. She won everything, so like what Jordynne's transformation, you have to respect just as a human being. And I think when you can differentiate that of like, hey, we have one goal in mind, we're going to beat the hell out of each other to get there, but then also look at what we're doing in real life and look what you had to do to get here, and you still made it through. And I think that's our biggest thing, is like the people we are outside of the ring, we can respect that and then bring that fight to each other at the end of the day and just be like, hey, you got the best of me and thank you.
Mm-hmm. Multiverse United 2 is coming up. This is later in the summer. It's August 20th, but I'm excited because it's Philadelphia. It's local. I know you've been asked a lot about potential opponents. I believe you named Mercedes Moné would be a good matchup that appeals to you. I'm going to focus on the United part. Who would you like to team with at that event if you're in a tag team match?
Ooh. Yeah, well, of course, Jordynne has to be up there, right? We just talked about tagging with her, the potential of winning the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships with her this weekend in Chicago. I mean, if I can have anybody, right? If we're breaking down that forbidden door and we're doing anything, I would want Chelsea Green. I would want my VXT partner back, although I know that's not possible. Britt Baker would be an amazing option. That's my other best friend. So I don't know. With an Impact, I think Jordynne's always going to be my number one of, I want to fight, but I also want to have her by my side.
Okay, I like it. Study up on the Marvel movies. You'll learn more about the multiverse and how it might be possible. See,
I saw where they're all like, there was the three of them, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, that's the Spider-Man meme. But now the phase, whatever, I think it's 5 or 6. I lose count because there's so many movies. But
yeah.
Now it's all big on the multiverse, so anything's possible. But like you said, Jordynne would be a solid first pick. Any thoughts on opponents from Japan who could maybe come over? I mean, this show, the first one, was very well received, so you take that feedback, a hot Philly crowd.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
So obviously everyone wants to talk about Mercedes, but Mercedes just lost the IWGP Women's Championship to Mayu Iwatani, and I've been in the ring with Mayu a handful of times in years past, and I would love to be able to revisit that. I think that would be really interesting, and Kyrie, I've never been in the ring with Kyrie. That would be a really cool first time ever match. There's a lot of great talent in Stardom that are like rising through the ranks there that were just kind of like young girls when I was in Stardom 2017 and 2018. So trying to like keep up with it and get back into it and watch it regularly now, I think there's a lot of young talent too that could be really interesting to wrestle.
Yeah, and I think the one of the big takeaways is this relationship and events like this are going to do nothing but help both companies, especially Stardom, New Japan, getting those names out there, where before it maybe I guess, like, a niche product, but that's just because of where it is in the world. Now that it's becoming more of a global thing, it's, you're going to have more fans, you're going to have more attention. Obviously, names like yourself from Impact Wrestling are going to help that. So I think the future is bright, but we're out of time here. So I will say congratulations on the title win. Good luck spring slugfest. I was gonna say spring stampede. That's WCW. Spring slugfest, April 28th and 29th in Chicago. Good luck this weekend, and thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.